Hey everyone, ready to explore something pretty cool.
Always. What are we diving into today?
Well, it seems like everyone's talking about ChatGPT these days.
Yeah, it's hard to miss the buzz.
But we're going beyond the hype today.
Oh,
Yeah, we're getting practical. This deep dive is all about using ChatGPT to make our everyday lives, especially our tech lives, a little bit easier.
sounds right up my alley. Where are we getting our insights from?
We're taking a look at an article called, hang on, let me make sure I get this right.
Take your time.
Okay, it's ChatGPT Descomplica Tecnologia, Inovação Prática ao seu alcance.
Okay, so untangling tech for practical innovation.
I like it already.
Me too. It was written by Steves Jr. and it just came out yesterday.
Hot off the press.
So hot. And the coolest thing about this article is that it shows how we can use ChatGPT to solve those pesky tech problems we all face.
You mean like when my Wi-Fi decides to go on vacation?
Exactly. Or even worse, the dreaded Windows blue screen.
Oh, the blue screen of death. We've all been there. Ugh, don't remind me. But the article points out that ChatGPT can actually help diagnose and potentially even fix those kinds of issues.
Seriously, how does that work?
Well, imagine typing into ChatGPT, "My computer's showing a blue screen. What do I do?"
Okay, I'm picturing it.
And instead of getting some complicated technical jargon, it gives you clear, easy-to-understand explanations and often even step-by-step instructions.
Wow, so it's like having a tech expert on call 247.
That's exactly what the article says. And it's not just for fixing things. ChatGPT can also help us learn new digital tools.
Oh, that's interesting. You mean like instead of struggling through a 500-page manual?
Exactly. It's like having a personal tutor who can adapt to your skill level.
Yeah.
Let's say you want to create really impressive PowerPoint presentations.
Yeah, who doesn't need help with that?
You can ask ChatGPT for tips and tricks, and it'll walk you through the process step by step.
It's like having a presentation coach right there in your computer.
Right. It's pretty amazing. And get this, it can even help with more complex stuff like MySQL databases.
Databases. That's a little more advanced.
I know, right? But the article emphasizes that ChatGPT can help demystify even those kinds of complex systems.
That's incredible. It's making technology more accessible to everyone. And speaking of accessibility, there's another aspect of this that I find really fascinating.
Oh, what's that?
It's the idea of ChatGPT helping us become more data literate. We're creating and interacting with data constantly these days.
True. Data is everywhere.
Exactly. So even if you're not a tech expert, understanding the basics of how data works can be a huge advantage.
I see your point. It's like we don't all need to become programmers,
Right.
but knowing how to navigate this data-driven world is becoming more and more crucial.
It's about empowering yourself to make better decisions, whether it's about managing your personal finances or understanding trends in your field.
Totally. So we've talked about troubleshooting tech problems, learning new tools, and becoming more data savvy. But wait, there's more. The article also talks about using ChatGPT for something really exciting.
Oh, don't leave me hanging.
It's about using ChatGPT for creative innovation.
Whoa, that's next level. You mean using it to come up with completely new ideas?
Exactly. The article gives a great example. Imagine using ChatGPT to brainstorm strategies for combining different tools to improve team communication.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
They specifically talk about using ChatGPT to figure out how to integrate Slack with a CRM system.
Interesting. That's not just about connecting the tools. It's about using them creatively to achieve a specific goal.
Exactly. It's about thinking outside the box, and the article suggests that ChatGPT can help us do that.
So it's like having a brainstorming partner pushing you to explore new approaches.
Right. And get this, it even talks about using ChatGPT for e-commerce automation. Now, I'll be honest.
What is it?
I'm not an e-commerce expert by any means, but even I can see the potential here.
Oh, I think the potential is huge.
Yeah.
Imagine all the tasks involved in running an online store, managing inventory, processing orders, marketing products. ChatGPT could help streamline all of those things.
That would be a lifesaver for anyone in e-commerce. It sounds like ChatGPT is not just about making things easier, but also about unlocking whole new levels of productivity.
And innovation, too. I think that's the key takeaway here. ChatGPT isn't just another tech tool. It has the potential to fundamentally change how we approach problems and how we learn.
You know what? I think I'm starting to see why everyone's so excited about ChatGPT.
Me too. Yeah, we're just scratching the surface here. There's so much more to explore.
Well, lucky for us, this is just part one of our deep dive.
Can't wait to see what else we uncover.
Me neither. But before we jump ahead, let's take a closer look at some of the practical applications we've already talked about.
Sounds good to me.
I'm especially curious about that example of using ChatGPT to create those killer PowerPoint presentations.
Ah, yes. The bane of many a professional's existence. But think about this. Instead of getting bogged down in the technical details of PowerPoint itself,
Ugh, those animations can be a nightmare.
you can use ChatGPT to focus on the substance of your presentation. Need help structuring your content? Want to know how to design visually appealing slides?
That would be so helpful.
ChatGPT can guide you through all of that.
It's like having a presentation guru on speed dial.
Precisely. But hold on, there was another example that caught my eye using ChatGPT for those more technical things, like learning about MySQL databases.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We were talking about getting more comfortable with databases.
Exactly. It's fascinating how versatile ChatGPT is. You can go from getting help with a presentation to diving into the world of databases, and it can meet you wherever you are in terms of your technical skills.
That's pretty amazing. It's like having a personalized learning path no matter where you're starting from.
And remember, we were talking about how understanding databases is becoming more and more important in this data-driven age.
Right. Even if you're not aiming to be a database whiz, just having a basic understanding can be a huge asset.
Absolutely. It's like ChatGPT is not just teaching us specific tools. It's helping us develop a deeper understanding of the entire digital landscape.
Yeah, I love that idea. It's like becoming a more informed and empowered citizen of the digital world.
Exactly. We're not just passively consuming technology. We're actively engaging with it.
All right, this is all incredibly exciting, but I think it's time to take a step back and look at the bigger picture.
Okay, what are you thinking?
Well, the article mainly focuses on how individuals can use ChatGPT, but what happens when we start thinking about it on a larger scale?
That's a great question. We're talking about ChatGPT not just as a personal tool, but as something that could potentially change entire industries.
Even entire societies, maybe.
Exactly. That's where things get really interesting and maybe even a little mind-blowing.
Well, buckle up, everyone. We're about to explore some serious possibilities.
So we're thinking big now, huh? ChatGPT not just for us, but for everyone.
Yeah, like how would things change if ChatGPT was woven into our schools, our hospitals, even our governments?
Whoa, that's a big thing.
Right, like imagine if every student had access to ChatGPT as a personal learning companion.
Ooh, that's an interesting idea.
Like a tutor available 24/7, adapting to each student's needs. It could be revolutionary for those subjects kids usually struggle with.
I see what you mean, like say a student's having trouble with a tough math concept.
Yeah, instead of getting frustrated and giving up,
Right.
they could turn to ChatGPT for help, get explanations in plain language, work through examples, maybe even do some practice problems together.
It's like taking the fear out of learning.
And think about it, teachers would have more time to focus on things like mentoring and fostering creative thinking.
It's not just about making learning easier, it's about making it more engaging and effective.
Absolutely. And what about learning outside of school? Professional development, picking up a new language, even just exploring hobbies.
ChatGPT could be a game changer for all of that.
Okay, so we've revolutionized education. Where else could we see this kind of impact? I'm thinking healthcare.
Oh, absolutely. Healthcare relies so much on information and guidance.
What if doctors could use ChatGPT to analyze patient data, compare treatment options based on the latest research?
Potentially even get real-time feedback on diagnoses.
That could lead to faster, more accurate diagnoses and better treatment plans.
Maybe even prevent some medical errors.
It's like having a brilliant medical consultant by your side 24/7.
And it's not just doctors. Nurses, pharmacists, therapists, all healthcare professionals could benefit.
So it's like improving the whole system, which ultimately benefits the patients.
Exactly.
And what about fields like law or journalism? They deal with tons of information all the time.
That's true. Research, analysis, staying up to date on everything.
Could ChatGPT be a game changer for them too?
Definitely. Think about a lawyer using ChatGPT to analyze legal precedents, prepare for court cases.
Or a journalist using it to research complex topics, fact-check information.
They could save so much time and energy, focus on the higher level aspects of their work.
Like crafting compelling arguments or telling impactful stories.
It's about AI augmenting human intelligence, not replacing it. Letting technology handle the tedious stuff so we can focus on what we do best.
Okay, this is all super exciting, but I'm sure some people are thinking, hold on, what about the downsides?
That's a fair point. There are definitely ethical considerations we can't ignore.
Like, what about data privacy, algorithmic bias? What if this technology gets misused?
We need to be asking those questions. Any powerful technology comes with risks.
It's not just about the tech itself, it's about how we use it.
And what safeguards we put in place. We need to make sure ChatGPT and other AI tools are developed and used responsibly.
Fairness, transparency, accountability, those are crucial.
Absolutely. And we need to have these conversations openly as a society.
We have to think critically about the potential impact, make sure AI aligns with our values.
It's not just about celebrating the amazing things it can do. It's about being aware of the risks and taking steps to address them.
So ensuring that AI serves humanity, not the other way around.
Exactly. It's a balancing act, harnessing the power of AI while making sure it's used ethically.
Okay, I'm feeling a bit more grounded now, but the potential of ChatGPT is still incredibly inspiring.
It really is. It's like opening up a whole new world of possibilities.
I'm especially fascinated by that idea of ChatGPT as a brainstorming partner, helping us unlock creative solutions we wouldn't have thought of on our own.
I love that idea. It's like having a fresh perspective, a different way of looking at things.
Remember that example about integrating Slack and a CRM system? That was all about thinking outside the box.
Exactly. It's not just about finding answers. It's about challenging our assumptions, coming up with completely new approaches.
And the potential for e-commerce automation is huge too. All that time and energy business owners could save by using ChatGPT for those everyday tasks.
It's like having a tireless virtual assistant, always working behind the scenes.
Freeing up entrepreneurs to focus on the big picture, on what they're truly passionate about.
Using AI to empower businesses, to encourage innovation and growth.
Okay, so much to think about. What's the key message for our listeners?
I think the most important thing is to remember that ChatGPT isn't just a cool new gadget. It has the potential to change how we live, how we work, how we learn.
It's about embracing the possibilities of human-AI collaboration.
Using technology to create a better future for everyone.
And that's an exciting prospect. We're not just watching this happen. We can be active participants.
We're shaping this future together.
And as we head into the final part of our deep dive, let's take a step back and think about the even bigger picture.
Really big picture, huh?
Yeah, we've talked about ChatGPT's potential to transform specific fields.
Right. Education, healthcare, even how we do business.
But what about its impact on our culture, our values, our sense of what it means to be human in a world where AI is becoming more and more prevalent?
Whoa, those are some big questions.
Big questions that we need to start thinking about now.
It's about making sure we're using AI to enhance our humanity, not diminish it.
So we're talking about the really big picture now. The impact of ChatGPT on society, on culture, on what it means to be human.
It's like we've opened Pandora's box. AI is out there, and it's going to change things, whether we like it or not.
Okay, that sounds a little ominous.
Well, I don't mean it in a bad way. It's just that we're in uncharted territory here. We need to think carefully about the implications, make sure we're steering this ship in the right direction.
Right, like we've talked about ChatGPT revolutionizing education and healthcare, even giving superpowers to lawyers and journalists.
But what about the ripple effects on our culture? How does AI change the way we see ourselves, the way we interact with each other?
That's a good point. Like, if ChatGPT can write poems and compose music, even generate code, does that make human creativity less special?
It's a question worth asking. And what about our relationships? If we're relying more and more on AI to solve problems and provide information, does that make us less connected to each other?
That's a bit of a scary thought. But maybe there's another way to look at it.
How so?
What if, by freeing us from those mundane tasks, AI actually allows us to focus more on those deeper human connections?
I like where you're going with this.
Like, if we're not constantly stressing about fixing our Wi-Fi or figuring out how to use some new software, maybe we have more time and energy for those meaningful conversations, those genuine moments of connection.
That's a really interesting perspective. It's not about AI taking over our lives. It's about AI giving us the space to be more human.
Exactly. It all comes down to how we choose to integrate AI into our lives.
We need to be mindful, make sure it's enhancing our human experience, not replacing it.
We have a responsibility to shape this future consciously, not just let it happen to us.
And that responsibility goes beyond individuals. Governments and policymakers need to step up, think about how to regulate AI, make sure it's being developed and used ethically.
Okay, now we're talking about some really big, complex issues.
Issues that we can't afford to ignore. It's like, how do we balance innovation with ethical considerations? How do we ensure that AI is a force for good?
Especially when the technology is evolving so rapidly, it feels like every day there's something new to consider.
It's a constant challenge, but it's a challenge we need to embrace. We have to start having these conversations now before it's too late.
So it's not just about celebrating the potential of AI, it's about recognizing the risks and taking steps to mitigate them.
It's about making sure that AI serves humanity, not the other way around.
You know, thinking about all of this takes me back to something a Steves Jr. said in that article.
What was that?
He talked about technology being truly valuable when it makes our lives simpler and more productive.
Right, I remember that.
But I think there's a third piece to that equation.
Oh, what do you mean?
I think technology should also strive to make our lives more meaningful.
I love that. It's not just about efficiency and convenience. It's about using AI to help us live more fulfilling lives, to connect with each other on a deeper level.
To create a world that reflects our values, our hopes, our dreams.
Beautifully said. It's about using AI to build a better future for ourselves and for generations to come.
Okay, I have to say, I'm feeling a lot more optimistic now. It's like, yeah, there are challenges, but there's also this incredible opportunity to shape the future of AI in a positive way.
We're not just along for the ride, we're the ones holding the steering wheel.
So, to everyone listening, here's our challenge to you. As you explore ChatGPT, don't just think about how it can help you individually.
Think bigger. How can it impact your workplace, your community, the world?
What role do you want to play in shaping this future?
We're all part of this conversation now. The choices we make today will determine the kind of world we create tomorrow. A world where AI is a force for good, or a force we come to regret.
We hope this deep dive has given you some food for thought, some inspiration, and maybe even a little bit of hope for the future.
Thanks for joining us on this journey. It's been a pleasure exploring these ideas with you.
We'll see you next time for another deep dive into the world of tech and innovation.